I'm Mia, and this is an updated Sephora sale recommendation list. But yeah, no, if you're watching this, it means it is April 10th, and the Sephora Savings event starts today for Rouge members. Rouge members start earlier than the rest. They have a 20% off discount code. VIB and Insider start on April 14th. VIB is 15% off while Insider is 10. The sale runs through the 20th, so it's 10 days in total, 6 days to everyone. And everyone has the same 30% off access to the Sephora collection items, so Sephora branded products. I know, wild. But today is the start of the sale for Rouge members, also me. Which is really funny because I haven't bought that many things, so I shouldn't qualify. But these are going to be some of my recommendations. I'm going to go in the order that I usually do my makeup anyways. So I'm going to start off with eyes, then move to the base, cheeks, lips, and then I'll throw like a few odds and ends, like skincare and stuff, after lips. Things that you generally don't see me apply when I do my makeup. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna hate this, but I'm gonna put pictures of every single product up here in the original price. And that way you can see the full name of the products. I'm gonna hate this and edit it in, but c'est la vie. First up, this is from Urban Decay. This is the Slick Day Brow. This is a clear brow gel. I know, wild concept. This is probably the strongest hold brow gel I've ever used in my life. And what I like about this compared to others is the shape of the, like, brush, I guess we'll call it, but it's not really a brush. This thing is disgusting. I need to get a new one during the sale because I'm just about out. I was struggling for my life doing my brows for this look. Speaking of, everything on my face is part of my recommendations. That way I can be like, oh, I'm wearing this and this, blah, blah, blah. So, but fantastic, clear, doesn't get crunchy, doesn't leave any weird residue, very strong hold, which is good because some of my brow hairs grow in the wrong direction, so I need a very strong gel so I can schlack everything down and get it done, you know? And next, for what's mainly on my eyes, I never thought I'd be able to get to recommend this again. From what it looks like, this is going to be permanent. But this is from Makeup by Mario. This is the Ethereal Eyes palette. This has been released, I want to say 3 times now, but it doesn't say limited edition under this listing. This one I got 2 years ago. She's a little loved. I try not to use her too much because it was limited edition. But these mattes are so smooth, so easy to blend. Unfortunately, they don't go very deep, but I know he has 2 other eyeshadow palettes, so if they're the same exact formula as this, you might have some luck. They're all mattes, all neutrals, but this, she's my ride or die. I'm wearing these 2 shimmer shades, this tan and that brown on my eyes. The mattes are super soft, super easy to blend. These shimmers are like wet and metallic. I mean, you can see for yourself. Beautiful, stunning, 10 out of 10. And it's just, she's my ride or die for like a good neutral palette. She's stupidly priced, but some things are just worth it, unfortunately. So next, these are also from Urban Decay. These ones were gifted to me, but I would not be using them or recommending them if I didn't like them. Now, the only issue with these is that there's 9 shades, 6 of them are being sold at Sephora, and naturally one of them that I used isn't sold, because why would it be? But these are from Urban Decay. These are the 24/7 liquid stick retractable eyeliners. These are so insanely creamy, so easy to blend. Like, I'm wearing 3 shades right now. The 2 that are sold at Sephora are Brown Noise and Melted Onks. They're just matte black and matte brown. The shade that's evil and not at Sephora is Solar Flicks, which is what's in my waterline. I don't want to pull my makeup up. But this is like their 1 duochrome shade. So, oh, it does come with a little brush on the end. I don't like this brush. It's too thick for what I usually use, which is doing it. But like, these are so insanely creamy and they blend so easily. but also once they're set, they're set. Like, she's not going anywhere anytime soon, which is something I appreciate, especially for eyeliners, because I have very watery eyes, so I need something that's gonna like stay. I need her cemented onto my eyes. And this only took one coat to cover my waterline, which was really impressive because this is a shimmery shade, and shimmery shades of eyeliners have a harder time sticking to the waterline, but not her. But the 6 shades that are available, I do highly recommend. And then one last thing on the eyes, because like I said, I don't have a lot of recommendations for the eyes. I really don't. I also don't have any mascara recommendations. There's no need to buy a high-end mascara. CoverGirl Maybelline, that's where it's at for mascaras. But one last thing. This is from Kulfi. This is the Zari Eyes eyeshadow in the shade Sona Sona. I only have one shade. I also lost the stopper to this, so that's great. But this is like a gel eyeshadow. She is beautiful and wet and reflective looking, which is, this one has more scattered glitter particles opposed to the other shades, which are more sandy, which is why I only have one. But these are beautiful. They're very easy to use because they are creams, but they're not overly like wet or like slick, so they're not going to give you too hard of a time when you're applying them, whether it's with a finger or a brush. I do prefer a finger for these types of things. These will also not budge. I don't have it on my eyes, normally I can put it on my eyes, but I brought this to New York with me in July, so it was gross and humid and hot, and I was sweating, not to be gross. And I also have oily eyelids. She did not go anywhere. She did not travel, she did not fade throughout the day. She was on my eyelids from whenever I put it on to whenever I took it off, but it was like a full outing. It was at least 9 to 10 hours. But she will not go anywhere. I do want to look into getting another one of these shades, because even though it's more sandy, they do have like a chartreuse shade. And with a chartreuse eyeshadow, I'm gonna be honest here, I really do love it. But like I said, that's all I have for eyes, because I tend to do heavier, more fun, more glam, more colorful stuff. Sephora is the land of neutrals. But I can't recommend anything directly because there's none of them in stock. If Danessa Myricks comes out with an eyeshadow palette, get it. If you like shimmers, you like fun things, get it. I have 2 of her Lightwork palettes. Fantastic, beautiful. If you like doing makeup like I do, fun, sparkly, colorful, invest in a Danessa Myricks palette when she comes out with the next Lightwork one. You will not regret it. Regret it? Regret? It's been a long day. I filmed a video before this. It's been a long week. But like I said, that's it for eyes. Sorry. I lied. I'm gonna do skincare before I go on with my regular base makeup stuff. These are upside down. These are from the Inkey list. These are the Hydrocolloid Invisible Pimple Patches. These are, I want to say $9. Last time I got them, I think they're $9 or $10. It comes with 22 patches. There's 2 sizes. So one's smaller and one's like a standard pimple patch size. These are invisible. These have a slightly more matte finish, so it's better to put makeup over them opposed to the ones that have a more shiny finish. These are the thinnest pimple patches I've ever used. These are also the most effective. Like, you can't even see it anymore. I don't have one on. I had a massive pimple when I came out of the shower last night. 2 pimple patches later, she's gone. This sucked up so much gunk so quickly. She's beautiful, fantastic, 10 out of 10. I recommend these ones more than the Hero Cosmetics one. I'm gonna be honest here. Like, I love the Hero Cosmetics ones, but these ones are a little cheaper, and while they come with a few less, they come in different sizes. So when you have those like weird teeny tiny pimples right there, and you don't want to waste a regular size one, that's what she's here for. These are also ones I won't put on my brother because he doesn't deserve them. His pimples are too big and too gross and too plentiful for him to use these. But these are 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, 12 out of 10. Beautiful, fantastic, best pimple patches. I know I'm rambling about pimple patches, which is sad and pathetic, but still. As a forewarning, this next item was gifted to me, but I've been through a whole bottle of it already. And I know I always disclose it before using it, but wouldn't keep using it, especially wouldn't finish a bottle of it if I didn't like it. This is from Paula's Choice. This is the Pro Collagen Peptide Plumping Moisturizer. This is really good for combination skin. That's also what I would like to forewarn before we get into base makeup. I have normal to oily combination skin. Now that it's getting a little warmer, my skin's starting to get a little oilier opposed to just normal. But this is a thicker gel hybrid type of moisturizer, so it's perfect for like combination skin. Because sometimes you don't want like an overly thick lotiony moisturizer, but you don't want like a super thin gel, like thin one. She's beautiful. She's perfect. You can see her do her little, she's not gonna go anywhere, but it's very clearly like, and this is so soothing too. Like my skin, I don't know what she was doing earlier, but like this entire side of my face was purple. Like I don't know what was going on. I didn't use anything new. So I did use this and I did definitely calm down a little. I like this a little more at night because even though it's still a hybrid, since it's on the slightly thicker side of a gel, I like to kind of like over apply this and like kind of slug myself with it, if we're being honest here. But I have relatively sensitive skin. This is really, really good. Hasn't given me a reaction. Leaves me nice and hydrated and ready to face the day and whatnot. But I wouldn't recommend something even if it was gifted to me, I wouldn't recommend it if it sucked. Now I do have 2 lip balms, and I would like it to be known that I do have an additional shade of each one, but they're both downstairs and we're not about that today. That's also something I would like to be known. I have a lot of shades of a lot of things, so that is always a good indicator of something that I actually really like. I'll get more shades. But for like my perfect everyday like daytime lip balm, you know her, you love her. These are the Olehenriksen Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatments. This is their like OG Citrus Sunshine. This is a limited edition one, pomegranate phase that came out like in a set. I do have a strawberry sorbet downstairs because I caved and got one when I was in New York because I didn't like the lip balm I packed with me. These are perfect. They aren't like thin and runny. That's a hair, sorry. But they're not like thick and sticky. Like I said, they're good. They are a good like everyday lip balm. This is the closest they have to a clear. I want to say their vanilla one might be clear, but I don't like vanilla. These all have a distinct scent and distinct shades. The shades are a little on the more sheer side. So, back to my everyday. But they have a little bit of a slip. There's no tackiness, but it does like drip onto your lips and leave them plush and soft. Like I said, perfect for everyday. Like, I carry strawberry sorbet in my pocket. Give it 2 weeks, I'll lose her like I usually do. But these are my girls when I need them in the daytime, when I'm out and about. Now, another lip balm that I also really adore, and like I said, I still have an additional shade downstairs. These are from Eadem? I've never heard the brand pronounced, if you're being honest here. These are the Chouchou Lip Softening Balm. Up with me, I have Sakura Shaved Ice and Guava Fresca. And then I also have Butter Mochi downstairs. This is the Sakura Shaved Ice. And then next will be Guava Fresca. These are on the thicker side. These are like cushiony and pillowy, and these are not going to move at all on your lips. These are also not as sheer. Like, these are highly pigmented. But these also exfoliate. So I like to use these at nighttime, almost like a lip mask. Because again, these are on the thicker side, so if I apply it once before going to sleep, I will wake up with perfectly nourished, hydrated lips, no cracks, no dry skin bits, none of that nonsense. I really like the Sakura Shaved Ice one. This is the one I occasionally take outside because it is lighter and not as pigmented as the rest, but she's a little scary, not gonna lie, the Guava Fresca one. But like I said, I love these specifically as like lip masks almost. I think that's it for my skincare items. I also do recommend, I don't have any on me or upstairs or in my possession, I I actually really like the Dr. Jart, like, single-use face masks. I like the Collagen one that they just came out with, and I also like the Ceramidin, the yellow one. Both of those are really good. They've never given me any reactions back to the sensitive skin thing. They're both really good for hydrating and, like, kind of refreshing your skin. And, like, the Collagen one, use that in New York. It's the ones that's kind of half, so it's like a thicker jelly, and it's well, like Hannibal Lecter up in that bit. But they're both very good, very hydrating, very nourishing, which is sometimes what you need. Alright, moving on to actual base products. I'd be surprised, like, can you go, oh my goodness, I never would have expected this. Girl, be for real with yourself. Also wearing this, surprise, surprise. These are from Glow Recipe. These are the Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewdrops. These are also a skincare item. I would like that to be known. But I use this all the time. I'm gonna be honest here. Sorry, look at how much I have left. I use this for skincare. I use this as skin prep. I know a lot of people are tired of niacinamide, but because of my skin type, it is especially good for me. But she's hydrating. She makes my makeup sit nice and soft and smoothly. She helps calm any, like, redness or irritation that I have, especially, like, I use this only in the summer months. Like, instead of, like, a moisturizer, I just go in with this. Because I'm like, it's hot, it's gross, I don't want to overwhelm my skin with too much. She's beautiful. When I do my makeup for out and about, this is the only skin prep / primer I will use. She's just that girl. And like I said, this will go with any, like, more hydrated, obviously, skin prep product. And it'll also go with a little more gripping product too. And then this is also from Kulfi. This is the Double Life Serum Primer. This is very hydrating. It's also a little, like, blurring. Like, I think somebody said it, like, I think the claims are that it's, like, a little bit of a gripping primer, but it's not overly sticky. The only place I don't like to use this is my nose, just because it can get a little too much, but that's because my nose is the oiliest part of my base. But she's hydrating, she's a little blurring and smoothing, she's beautiful. I've gone through most of a tube of this, and I want to say I've had this since this last sale, maybe, but this pairs really, really well with the Glow Recipe primer. That's what I'm using now, Glow Recipe and Kulfi. Like, girl, do you see how this makeup is sitting? Say less. She's just... And then for when I want, like, an extra boost of hydration and a little bit of bronziness, and this is a little tacky, so it will help grip. This is from Danessa Myricks Beauty. This is the Yummy Skin Glow Serum. I have mine in the shade Main Squeeze, but there's a light, like, pinky champagne color and then a deeper bronze copper color for obviously different skin tones. This isn't like a bronze and drop situation. It's not that nonsense, no. But like I said, it's a glow serum, so it'll just kind of give your skin like a nice little sheen. It'll give yourself a little bit of shimmer, some color. Again, this is very hydrating, and, like, once it dries down, it's a little tacky, but tacky is good in a primer. We want tacky in a primer because that means it will help your makeup sit and grip a little better and longer throughout the day. This also has a very nice scent. I'm also looking into getting the new, I want to say it's a moisturizer. It's either a moisturizer or a serum that Danessa just came out with. But I'm looking into getting that because that has Ectoin in it. And one of my favorite products, skincare products that I just ran out of, has Ectoin. So I'm hoping it'll be something similar. But hydrating, bronzy, sits well under makeup. What more could you ask for? Do you know what I realized when I was going through my base product drawer? Is how few foundations that I have, let alone how few foundations I actually have that are from Sephora and are being sold. I only have one other Sephora foundation in my drawer. But if you have dry skin and you want a skin tint, I really, really like the Hourglass Veil Hydrating Skin Tint. The only issue about this is with the shades, because I'm in shade 3. I'm not shade 3. But this has more coverage than you think it would for a skin tint. I also put way too much, but it's It's thicker for a skin. See, this is not shade 3, fair with neutral undertones. But for someone with dry skin, this is gonna be right up your alley. Again, the only issue is the shades, but this has more coverage than you think it would, but it's not as much as a foundation, and this sits really, really well and wears really nicely throughout the day. Like, I just need them to come out with like 2 or 3 lighter shades and we'll be good. Like, now, this is from Haus Labs. This is the Trichlone Skin Tech Foundation. This is what I'm wearing on my face now. This is the shade 70 Fair Neutral. I did mix in a little bit of my green color corrector with it today. I also made sure to clean this before showing you. But if you are getting this, the only thing I want to warn you about is their shade matching system, because they use a true artist color wheel. So anything that's labeled warm is actually going to be cool toned, and vice versa. But this is a gorgeous radiant, like natural to radiant, like depending on how much you use. But this is pretty perfect. Like, she's beautiful, stunning, 10 out of 10. Sits nicely, wears nicely. It's so funny because for the longest time I was just kind of about it because I was applying too much. You do need to work in really thin layers with this, but girl, definitely more medium coverage. You can build it up to full, but then it just starts to sit weird and look a little weird. But like medium is where she is. You can shear it out, but you can do that with most foundations. But she's beautiful, stunning. Obviously, I wouldn't keep using it again and again if I didn't like her at least a little, you know? And for concealers, this is relatively new, but girl. This is from Patrick Ta Beauty. This is the Major Skin Soft Blur Brightening Concealer. I have mine in the shade Fair Neutral True. Yeah, Fair Neutral True. It matches pretty well to my face, if we're being honest here. But as the name might imply, this is blurring, so it's a little more on the matte side, which she blends out gorgeously. I don't know if I said this is what I'm wearing. I think I said that actually. But I brought this with me to New York and I did use it all over my face, and I did not have a single complaint about her. She didn't stretch her crease too much. She didn't pull weird. She didn't get dry or patchy around like my nose and my mouth area, which is the biggest concern. I didn't use this like a foundation, but it was just kind of like more spot concealing. But really, really good. Like I said, I know this is on the newer side. Again, this is also kind of ridiculously priced, but it isn't everything at Sephora, because Sephora is evil and hates us all. Also from Haus Labs, this is the Trichlone Skin Tech Concealer. I have 01 Fair Neutral, 04 Fair Neutral, and 05 Fair Peach. Obviously I'm gonna go. This is 1. It's funny because I love using this for my more natural, like when I do makeup just out and about. This is 4, which is more of a match to my face, like in standard non-tan times. And then this is 5, and this may look a little ridiculous now, but this works for me really, really well in the summer. But this is a formula that I like in the, not in the summer, just like, you know, out and about. I tend to like a more hydrating concealer when I'm wearing the makeup out and about. But this, she's beautiful. Same thing. This does not crease like at all, and it stays. This makes me look like I drank water. I don't drink water. But I got rained on with this, and obviously it was a combination of my primer and my setting as well. She did not go anywhere. But these are very creamy. The only issues that I've seen a lot of people complain about losing the doe foot to this recently. These are like 2 or 3 years old at this point. Like, I got these when these came out. So it's, I don't know if it's a new issue. I don't know if it's just how people handle them. But you can make that argument about any product that uses a doe foot. Wild concept, I know. Sorry, that was a very half-assed face. I'm sorry. Also, on my lips, I had a mixture of the 2 lip balms on them. I forgot to mention that when I showed them, I think. But onto cheeks. I have 3, which is kind of funny because I didn't think I had that many. This is from Milk Makeup. This is the Sculpt Stick in the shade Toasted. This is my favorite contour. These are on the stiffer side, but that means it takes longer for them to like disappear on your skin. It doesn't get absorbed as quickly. It doesn't wear off so quickly. But a lot of contours are not cool tone these days. This one is, especially on fair skin, because a lot of things will pull orange. She's cool. She stays cool. I've had this for a year, 2 years now. I know people complained about the size of them when they came out. I still have so much product, so that's not an issue. But this is, again, is a little on the stiffer side, formulation and blend-in wise. But again, it's because it will last longer on your cheeks than something that has more dew and more slip. And again, for actual cool tones, and I do know these run pretty deep as well. Now, if you like a super warm toned bronzer, like if you want a bronzer, which I generally don't because I'm a little more neutral, not warm but olive, so it gets a little weird sometimes. This is from LYS. This is the No Limits Cream Bronzer and Contour Stick. I have mine in the shade Hope, which is supposed to be neutral. It's kind of really not, but this is possibly the most buttery and easiest to blend bronzer I've ever experienced in my entire life. Like this, 2 taps and you're like, oh my god, I'm done, I'm blended, so seamless, so perfect. Again, these run a little warm, but I know there are a lot of people who love, like, again, I know bronzers are warm toned, but like these are a little bordering on. Formulation wise, fantastic. If you like the shades that you see and you like that appearance, fantastic. I love this when I want to look a little more sun-kissed, a little more, you know, alive, and like I've seen the sun every once in a while, just a little. And then this is from Makeup Forever. These are the Artist Color Crayons. I specifically have mine in a contour shade, but they do have blush and highlighter shades. I'm assuming the blush shade is the same formula, highlighter not so much. But I have mine in the shade Luminous Taupe. This is also a fairly good like contour color for me, which kind of wild. Didn't know I knew how to find those. These are a little on the drier side, but that's okay. Like, not drier, but not like, oh my god, dewy, radiant, la la la. I don't like dewy, like, bronzer products. Blush, yes. Bronzer, no. I want something like a little more matte. This is your girl. And again, they're, like, it's creamy, but it, like, dries down. That's the better term for it. Like, it dries down very easily. Again, there are other shades, other tones. Obviously, there are other shades, but, like, there are different uses for them. Because, again, they're a multi-use product. It even says so. So, cheeks, you can use this on the lips, use it on the eyes. I specifically like it for doing a more for cheeks, especially because it fits very well right there. And that's exactly what I did, because I added blush in before the contour, so I just did a little with this after my blush, because this is the girl I used. Back to my everything on my face is something I'm about to recommend. Now for blush, I do have 3 different types. I have a powder and 2 creams. One of the creams is a more dewy finish, one is a more natural finish. I'm gonna start off with the Tarte 28 blushes. These are the Get Set Blur and Set Matte Powder blushes. These are very pigmented. They're very blurring. Like, they're very blurring. But these are very pigmented. I am someone with very fair skin. I use a very light hand and like a very loose brush so I don't concentrate everything so hard on one spot. But this is in the shade Sunset Shirley, which is a collab with Tony Bravo. Back to my very pigmented, very blurring. Like, there's no hint of a shimmer in these, which is good. I don't like shimmery blushes. And then this is in the shade Sawtell Slushy, I think. But these are very blurring. They're very matte, obviously. So if you have oily skin, these are your girls. I don't use a powder blush all too often. I am planning on picking up one of the peachy shades. These are really good. They wear so long, because again, very matte, very blurring, So they kind of like, not that they set themselves because there's nothing to set, but like once they're on, they're on. She's throwing everything around. But yeah, I'm sorry, I can't talk today. It's been a long week. It's 5:56 right now. This is gonna be a 45-minute video at least. Now onto my liquid blush. These are the more natural finish. These are from Huda Beauty. These are the blush filters. I have mine in 4 shades. I have Sunset Lychee, a beautiful, you know, kind of peachy, kind of corally shade. I have Bubblegum, which is a very pale, cool toned pink. Like it's neutral cool, but like it's more cool. I have Watermelon Pop, which is kind of like a bright brick, if you will. And then my favorite shade, and I use her. This is like my perfect like natural blush shade when I'm out and about. This is Strawberry Cream. The only thing I don't like about these is the applicator. Like this is a stupid little applicator. But I did see that they are again replaced to a more standard doe foot, like a more teardrop shaped one. The words. But these are all, they're more natural finish. Some of the shades have a very, very slight sheen, slight pearl, but that's so they look a little more natural on your skin and they just don't look flat and one-dimensional. It just gives a little, like again, it's not shimmery, you can't notice it, but like they have a little bit of something. But these are beautiful. They blend out very easily. I've never had any weird patchiness with them. Like I said, I wear this one all the time when I'm wearing makeup outside. They don't go anywhere. They will stay on my face. This one covered up a sunburn once. It is what it is. But again, 4 shades. Seems to me that I might like these at least just a little bit. One might think. Now, these next ones are really funny because when I first got them, I didn't like them. But that was an issue with the shades and not the actual product. Don't ask me how I got 5. I don't know what happened here. These are from Rode. These are the pocket blushes. They're not quite pocket sized in packaging terms. I'm gonna swatch my 3 favorite because I'm not swatching 5 on here, especially with the shape of these. But these are definitely a little more radiant, a little more dewy. This is the shade Sprinkle. This is my girl. I do have her. I'm wearing a mix today. So I have a little bit of Sprinkle. This is a new shade that they just came out with, Teacup. This is not on the Sephora app. But this is a more raspberry pink. I know they're very similarly toned, but this one's a little more cool toned and this one's a little more like peachy. So I put them together because they look very nice together. And then this is from their summer one they did, which is Tan Line, which is like a nice, like it blends out to be like a nice mauve, if you will, like a warm tone mauve. I actually brought these to New York. I wore a Teacup out and about left that hotel at like 9, got back at like 7, no, because we went to dinner at 7:45, so got back to the hotel at like 10, and when I did take my makeup off, there was pink on it, so she did last me all day, which kind of impressed by, because again, I know I said it, I had a very loose layer of powder, and I also I layered this over the powder, because when you use a brush, I don't like using a finger to layer it over powder because that disrupts it, but if you use a brush to layer these over a powdered base, these actually work very well over powder. I know, especially for cream products, no one would have expected that. But these are really nice. They're really creamy. I have not Juice Box. I hate Juice Box. That's the worst shade ever. I have Teacup and Sprinkle. Sprinkle is my favorite. But I was like, I'm going to push myself outside my comfort zone. Or my usual one. And I brought Teacup with me. And she's beautiful. Perfect. And they give a nice healthy flush to the skin, both in terms of color and in the hydration levels, because they are more dewy, they are more emollient, but they don't go anywhere, which is so interesting to me, because the more emollient a product, the more likely it's to disappear off your face in 5 seconds. But I don't have any highlighters, I'm gonna be honest here. I used to recommend the Rare Beauty one all the time. I'm kind of done with her. Sometimes it gets a little too chalky, and there's so few shades, and the only one that works for me is white, and I hate white highlighters. But a lot of brands don't release highlighters anymore, so all the good highlighters are at the drugstore anyways. You're not missing much at Sephora, gonna be honest here. I'm gonna be honest, I almost forgot about set-in products. Now, from Huda Beauty, either one of them is fine. They both work very, very well. These are from Huda Beauty. This is the Easy Bake Loose Set-In Powder. This is the Easy Bake Pressed Powder. The pressed powder is fragrance free. The loose one is not. I went over it with a very loose layer, like more to tone down some things of the pressed powder today. I wore this for New York. Surprisingly, when I did my nose, my glasses didn't pick up any makeup. I know, picks it up with every other powder, but not this one. So if you wear glasses, this might be a solution. And like I said, I didn't go too heavy-handed. It was more of a, I don't look crazy and stupid and shiny. But I did combine it with a Set and Spray. So I used this, and then the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Sand Spray. I didn't want to fall into a trap of, oh my god, this is the best sand spray ever, blah blah blah. I fell hard. If you put these two together, my base did not move. My glasses did not consume any makeup, if you will. My only issue, this has a very floral scent. This has a very fake scent, and I hate fragrance products, but she melted my makeup together beautifully. It doesn't leave like a specific finish. Like it's like natural. She'll just kind of do her thing. She'll just kind of exist. It's not specifically hydrating. It's not specifically mattifying. It's just a good, put these two together. Makeup lasted all day. Like I said, left the hotel at like 8. Got back probably after 8. Actually, it was definitely after 8. We got a hot dog. I can tell you exactly when we got back to the hotel because we got a hot dog after going. We went to Din Tai Fung for dinner, and then my friend got a hoodie because they were cold. Maybe I didn't get a hot dog that day. I'm a liar. I'm fraud. C'est la vie. But it was a long day, so it was at least a 10 to 12 hour day. These two, beautiful together. Fantastic. I can't believe I almost forgot Set-In products. You know, it's funny, I was just going through my bin of all my lip products, and I just realized how many Sephora items I don't have in like lip glosses. But nevertheless, we persist. I used both formulas today. These ones are from Anastasia Beverly Hills. These are it just says lip liner. I have 3 shades. I have Cranberry, which I still haven't had time to use yet because I don't tend to do reds. But I didn't have any reds, so I'm like, oh, precaution. I have Deep Taupe, which is part of what I used. I used it to do my Cupid's bow and just kind of give a little definition. And then I have Hazelnut, which is very, very warm toned compared to everything else. These are on the slightly drier side, stiff side, but back to that means they won't disintegrate as quickly on the lips. They won't fade as fast. They will put up a little bit of a fight if you're like talking, eating, drinking, all that fun jazz. Also, I have had sips of, you know, Monster, and I've been talking, and yet I still have shine from my Eadem lip balms, and I didn't apply that much either. So back to that. And then I also have the Makeup Forever Artist Color pencils. These are also multi-use. I use these primarily as lip liners. I have a shade Dreamy Pink, which is one of the new shade extensions. This is the one that I have on my lips, kind of like in this area, just to give a little more pink. And then I have Wherever Walnut, which is supposed to be like It's funny because on here it looks like nice and neutral. On the lips it's total peach. And then I have Universal Earth, which is kind of like a brownish, reddish color. These are also a little dry. Again, it means they last a little longer. I've worn these under lip oil before, and yet my entire lip combination stayed all day through brunch. So a slightly dry pencil formula is good. A dry, creamy lip product, not so good. I don't know how to explain it to you, but if there's a little bit of resistance when you glide with a wood pencil, it will tend to stay a little longer. These are a little more on the velvety side, and these are just like standard wood pencils. Again, they're both very good. They both wear a little longer than most of my other lip liners. I tend to really like a matte velvet lipstick if I'm doing like a lipstick. So these are from Makeup by Mario. These are the Ultra Suede matte lipsticks. I have mine in the shade Sam, which is probably my favorite shade of the bunch. I also have Rasa? I think it would be Rasa, which I need to use a little more often because she's a beautiful, like, pink toned color. And then I also have Nikki, which is this gorgeous, like, burnt red color. But, like, see how they're all, like, a little more, like, matte, velvety. They get a little blurred on the lips. I do love those types of lipsticks, which is really funny because the next lipstick I'm about to show you is the total opposite of that. And honestly, I'm taking a risk including these because since they're so new to Sephora, I don't know if they're going to be included in the sale or not. But if they are, these are from MAC Cosmetics. These are the Luster Glass lipsticks. I love these. Like, they don't have the best wear time because they're a little more slippery, a little more satiny, high shine. But they do wear pretty well. Sorry, emails. I have the shades. Thanks, it's MAC. I know. Who could have foreseen this? This is like one of my favorite nude colors. And then I have the shade Sellout, which is also supposed to be a pinky nude. These are on the more sheer side, but there's, you know, they're luster glass. They're supposed to be a little sheer, a little doo. And then this is the shade Hug Me, which actually goes very well with the Rode Pocket Blush and Tan Line, because they're a little more reddish brown base, but like it's not like a red brown like how Universal Earth lip liner was. But these are so comfortable. They're slip on the lips, and they have that feeling. And if your lips aren't hydrated, you really need to like make sure your lips are hydrated and exfoliated before this, because these will cling to like your dry patches. But with something that's, you know, because it's not a gloss, so it's not going to totally cover and sink in. It's a lipstick, so it's not going to have the same effect, so to speak. But these are definitely on the like they're not sheer, but like they're not thin. They're like a weird in between. You can definitely build these up as needed, but one will just give you like a faint wash of color. I really like high shine lipsticks sometimes, man. Like I know the two formulas I just showed you are two totally opposite formulas. What can I say? I'm versatile. And I only have two other lip products to recommend because I just, like I said, I went through my lip gloss and my lip oil drawer and I realized how many of them aren't from Sephora. I only have one shade of each of the following. They're both from Fenty Beauty. This is the original Gloss Balm Universal Lip Luminizer. I have mine in the limited edition shade Water Brat. Not available anymore. But they have standard shades. I used to love Fussy. This is a thick, standard, little sticky gloss. I used to wear this every day in high school. I'd only apply it 2 or 3 times after the initial one because since it is thicker, it will grip to your lips, paws. But she's beautiful. She's perfect. She's like that. She feels like a lip gloss. Like a lot of lip glosses feel like lip oils these days and vice versa. People don't know how to label things. This is a gloss. She's a gloss. You know, she's doing her job. She's securing the lines. She will, again, it's a thicker traditional lip gloss formula, so it's not going to move too much. Like when you talk, it's not going to settle outside of your lip line area, all that jazz. Good standard gloss. I do want to warn you, there are only shimmery shades of this. There's one clear shade and the rest are just shimmer. Same thing with the other shade I'm about to show you. This. Who is she? This is the Gloss Balm Oil Luminizing Lip Oil and Gloss. I have one shade in the shade Miss Jellyfish. I have been thinking about getting a few others. This is very thin. She looks scary in the tube, right? She's not that scary on the lips. She is, look at that color though. She is mostly glitter. Like, there's gonna be a very faint purple, you know, tint to your lips, if you will, but it's not overly, you're not gonna have like a purple lip. I like mixing it in with another clear gloss just so I can get more sparkle than anything and add it. But again, this is definitely an oil. It's on the thicker side of an oil, but it's not like a mislabeled gloss or anything. And again, all of the shades of the lip oil are sparkly. There's no exceptions. But she's beautiful, she's stunning. I have been seeing this shade pop up at Marshall's, not gonna lie. But that's the only shade, and I'm pretty sure it's because people are scared of a purple lip gloss, but it's not. Like, again, these are both just shimmer. They're mostly clear bases. These are just shimmer. And that's what I do love about Fenty products. Sometimes I just want a shimmery lip gloss, which is really funny because I used to hate shimmery lip glosses. But yeah, I think that's everything for my recommendations video. Like I said, I know I started going off the deep end at some point, but like I said, it's been a long day. This is my second video of the day. This is my first day off this work week. And I know I just had 6 days off from New York, but like, it's not like I was sitting around the house doing nothing. I was doing things every single day. So it's been a lot the past week and a half. So this is my first like real sit down, do nothing kind of day. Do nothing. I've done 2 videos. I was gonna try to do a third. I was gonna try to do this video last night, passed out at like 10 o'clock. But this is a current updated Sephora savings event recommendation list. Like I said, everything that I recommended is stuff that I use all the time, and if you watch any of my videos, you'll go, hey, these have made appearances before. So yeah, now obviously you don't need to buy anything at the sale. I'm not encouraging reckless spending or irresponsible spending, but if you're like, oh, you know, I'm out of this, I want to try something new, blah blah blah, oh, you know, it's been, you know, a shit week, I deserve something nice, I'm celebrating something, sure. Don't go into debt for these kinds of sales. I myself am only probably getting 3 things. 2 of them are perfumes and one of them's restock on my brow gel, because again, she's gross. She's running pretty close to empty. So don't feel peer pressured. And again, this is going up the day that it opens to Rouge. So April 10th. April 14th for VIB and Insiders. Ends the 20th for everyone. Again, your percentage goes based on what tier you are. And yeah,